It's from the University of Austin. Like,
So Bari Weiss did her contrarian college down at University of Austin.
Is that still existing?
I didn't know that it was, but apparently it's been going, and they've been learning all sorts of forbidden ideas.
Now, this is like Trump University, right? It's not like a real university. It's more like PragerU type of situation.
Well, no,
are they accredited?
I don't know. I think that last I heard they were working on that. I don't believe they're accredited.
Right. Yeah. No. And like
you actually
like
go
PragerU.
there.
Right.
PragerU's an online thing.
Oh, you actually go there.
You actually do go to these courses.
So it's like IDW camp.
It's really it's day camp for people who like think Brett Weinstein has insight.
Okay. All right. And so this guy and what is this video? Who put out this video?
So this is a promotional video put out by University of Austin,
Okay.
Texas itself, including, this is just testimonial, I guess. So if your young contrarian is looking for a place to go this spring, you can check out this guy's experience.
Yeah, and this is one of the problems with obviously YouTube. People can get some really bad ideas.
Hebrew phrase called ein brera, which means there's like no other way. There's no other option. I could just stay at a corporate job and retire into the sunset and take less risk or whatever. But it's just so boring. Why live in a world and not be able to point to this exists because of me? My name is Ezra. I'm a 2023 now Polaris Fellow. I was fortunate enough to be a part of Forbidden Courses last summer. I'm trying to be the longest running.
Hold on for a second. The Polaris Fellow, is that like a fellowship that you win? Is that sponsored by Polaris, like the people who make those like off-road vehicles?
I don't think that. I would be disappointed in Polaris if they are doing that. I do think these are like grants. I think you have to win grants to go here. I don't know if you can actually just brute force.
It's a part-time year-long program focused on cultivating principled leadership. Fellowship, but yeah, you apply for this fellowship though. But the application cycle is closed until the next one opens.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And I'm sorry, one of the courses he took was what?
The forbidden courses is
the forbidden courses.
Yeah.
So is
it's
this
funny
like
to officially offer the forbidden courses, but anyway.
It is sort of weird. Is that like Kabbalah? Because my understanding of Kabbalah is that you're genuinely not supposed to take Kabbalah until you are very well versed in the Midrash, because the Kabbalah is dangerous. But then like Madonna and Sandra Bernhard started, studying it, and then it just opened it up to everybody.
Polaris Fellows study the interaction between law, markets, and institutions through contemporary and classic texts, acquire fundamental leadership and managerial skills, and meet with leading-edge public and private entrepreneurs, among others.
So what is the forbidden part? Is it? I'm looking at this picture.
Well, we
women
do have
not forbidden.
Women
are forbidden from being in it. No, is that what it? I can't tell.
There's a few women in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't sure. I couldn't tell. All right. So here is the forbidden. Are we seeing him in a forbidden course?
I don't believe
really.
Yeah. No. This is just a nice
pulling the veil back.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was fortunate enough to be a part of Forbidden Courses last summer. I'm trying to be the longest running UATX student. When I graduated and I found myself at McKinsey, I found that you couldn't really openly ask a question. It also just kind of felt like people would say things to be a part of the crowd. I felt like there wasn't a critical thinking element. So I was really craving this environment. When I went to Forbidden Courses, I just took time away from work, and it was like, I don't know, it felt like alive again. Types of conversations.
Yeah, I just want to pause on a couple of things. Like one, McKinsey, folks who don't know, McKinsey is a business consulting firm saying, hey, some of the questions they can ask is, can we fire all these people and save this money?
Right. What's the best way to give our shareholders maximum returns with on the backs of workers?
When Pete Buttigieg was there, he asked questions like, how can we fix these bread prices, for instance?
Do you know what questions are forbidden at McKinsey? Why are we doing this? Why are we hurting this community?
Why are we overthrowing this government?
Yeah, what's the downside? What's the side effects of this?
But guys, I just wanted to, if you want, Matt, if you could put this up, I just wanted to highlight in the details and requirements drop-down tab for the UATX Forbidden Courses. Just check out the location, being the old Parkland campus in Dallas, Texas. I don't know if you guys recall, but that would be where Harlan Crowe lives.
Is that right?
Yeah. So if you click on that link, the trademark for the website is Crowe Holdings LLC. So That's where this. That's your campus
That's
would be.
an interesting little connection.
that is that public? Did you just find that? I haven't seen anybody make. Is Harlan Crowe bankrolling this entire thing?
That's a good question. I mean, at the very least, they're hanging out at about a place that he like his company sponsors.
That's fascinating.
That is very interesting.
We got to make that a little bit more public.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you click on this,
Applicants must be at least 18 years old. Hold on, go back 1 second. Sorry about this. I just wanted to read the requirements for the forbidden course, of course, because, I mean, you got to be careful to go into the forbidden zone. The course offerings, click that plus button. There you go. We recognize that truth-seeking requires courage, rational judgment, and intellectual humility. Changing our minds is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and maturity.
Yeah, the one thing that guy coming out of McKinsey saying, these guys are all sheep. Yeah, there's a lot of humility coming out of there.
Oh, yeah. McKinsey is. We named our summer program Forbidden Courses because higher education has made it difficult to inquire openly into vexing questions with honesty and without fear of shame. Well, the guy was coming from McKinsey, not from a different school.
right? He was.
I don't get this. The end is not to prove that we are right.
Good.
Rather, our program brings diverse minds together so that we can clarify what we do and do not know. This passionate pursuit of truth, however, elusive as it may be, is at the heart of all our programs. Oh my God. This, I don't think I've read anything more self-satisfied in my entire life. Forbidden Courses Summer Program is a full-time week-long commitment primarily designed for undergraduates, recent graduates, and graduate students. We will accept and consider applicants from those who meet the age requirement. Tuition, lodging, and most meals are free, plus a $300 travel stipend. So I guess the bottom line is, as long as you don't have to have a job. I mean,
Yeah, I was
most jobs won't let you take a week off like that.
To me, it's like, okay, you have a limited number of these forbidden course seats, I imagine, and you pick the McKinsey guy because he can take vacation time. Like, you don't pick an undergrad maybe or somebody. I don't know. Interesting.
All right, let's go back to.
Oh yeah.
But wait, what did you want to show? The Parkland campus? Yeah.
When you click on this, Old Parkland, the trademark down there.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's 2023 Crowe Holdings.
2023 Crowe Holdings.
That's rather interesting. Huh. Okay.
Sorry, before we play the video again, like, you want to be the longest running student at a fake university that's been around for 2 years, a year? Like,
I mean,
okay, Van Wilder.
He wants to be a super senior.
Was like, I don't know, it felt like alive again. The types of conversations that we had didn't end at the classroom. Like, we could just continue talking through lunch, and then late into the night,
Unlike normal
the friends that I have
universities.
made, I kept in touch with. I don't think I've met a more valuable group of people, just like the quality of the people, that they're genuine and that they're kind, and that they're working really hard and doing some amazing things. I have just never really been so proximate to people that can enable creating a business and scaling it and making it really successful. So I feel as though being a part of this takes away the sense of like limitation on what you can achieve.
Yeah. So we do
wait a
have
second. So the pursuit of truth leads to
being
creating a
at ATX.
business?
Yeah, being an entrepreneur, obviously.
Tech business.
We do have some screenshots from Owen Higgins here. He was able to find from this, you're the first one there, Forbidden Courses Summer Program, the one we were just on.
Yeah.
He zoomed in a little bit to some of the promotion. So there's this image here, this teacher here. With
Okay, so he zoomed in on this teacher. He's at the, and presumably it looks like, I don't know, is different people like writing on there, or is he just taking
different markers? It kind of looks like his handwriting. I'm not sure, but it looks like he's taking
like a brainstorm,
suggestions from the crowd about
modern narratives of moral change are excuses
for failure.
Modern narratives of moral change are excuses for failures.
I don't even really follow that.
I'm not sure I understand what that means, but okay.
Yeah.
And then there is some modern narratives of moral change that are on the board, and presumably they're all excuses for failures, because that is the way that you.
Yeah, I don't think
that's the way that you adjust it.
That.
I mean, let's be clear before we go through some of these things. So I think it's going to bear out. Corey Robin's book, The Reactionary Mind, talks about, like, basically what the reactionary mind does is it repackages over and over again pre-existing societal hierarchies and makes them feel transgressive. Like, I'm really overturning the apple cart. But what you're really doing is you're edifying the apple cart. It's just that you're pretending what the apple cart is. So, in other words, it's like, I'm fighting back against all this sort of trans ideology that dominates our world. If trans ideology dominated our world, you would not have trans people murdered because they're trans. You would not have kids feeling like having a higher suicide rate because they are struggling with the question of whether they're trans, and they are feeling the societal pressure. If you're pushing back against all this sort of, like, woke culture that is dominating our world, you've got to ask yourself, well, why is it that, like, if it's about woke culture, why do we still have such massive wealth inequality between white people and black people? If it's woke culture, why do we have such a high maternal death rate for black women? If it's woke culture, why is the IRS having to admit today that they audit black people at higher rates than white people? Like, that's what the reactionary mind does. It repackages these old ideas and tries to sell them as if they're new. And here on this board, we have modern narratives of moral change are excuses for failure. Something's failed, and this is an excuse. And so one of them is
so I think these are all different that's just one example of a forbidden idea.
Oh, I see.
It's just confusing because it's in the top left.
Oh, I see. Okay, so modern narratives.
There is no God underneath that.
Is under the there is no God something about Justice Roberts?
Yeah, I can't read that, but I do think it says Justice Roberts.
Justice Roberts' outcomes are, and then you can't see it.
Partisan, maybe. The one he was pointing to, though, that Owen Higgins pointed out, is very easy to read, which is non-black people cannot use the N-word.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much the joke that all of us made about University of Austin, Texas. Like, what's grad level is why can't non-black?
You know what's really disappointing is even at the university at Texas or wherever it is, they don't use the N-word.
I know, exactly. He didn't write it. It's funny because, like, right underneath that is another forbidden idea. Apparently we got infiltrated there because they said housing is a human right.
Sex is binary. There should be a cap on how much one can earn.
Racial properties are a consequence of cultures of poverty, not racism. Which, like, I think that's somebody thinking they're sounding liberal, but actually, like,
oh my God!
No, actually, that's just the Charles Murray opinion. There's a culture of poverty here, and
nothing is 100% consensual.
Oh yeah,
There's a lot of people who think that they're completely like this is honestly like if you've never been to college and you want to know what it's like to be a sophomore in college and everybody getting high around a 6-foot bong, this is what the outcome is.
Yeah. And then you get used to recognizing mental masturbation, like saying nothing is 100% consensual.
Yeah.
Because, like, you had the 100% in there. That makes it like a weird sort of philosophic thing where, of course, like, even Marxists say, like, well, I didn't necessarily consent to all these labor conditions, but I have to survive. So is that 100%? But, like, we know what consent is.
Well, that's the point, is actually no. Consent is not, consent is more or less binary. It's either you give consent or you don't. That doesn't mean that you're a 100%. This is what this is it is an attempt to parse what coercion is. And the bottom line is you either give consent or you don't give consent. It's absurd.
There's something doctor, not med transition on the right, which is about trans people, I assume. Yeah, so, a bunch of interesting stuff that they're learning over at University of Austin, Texas.
Abortion is neither, and all I can see is the word constitutional, nor a natural right or something. I don't know. It's
mental masturbation.
Exactly. Right wingers. That's a fair. And all funded by Harlan Crowe.
We need some more
hosted by
reporting
him.
on that. That's a very interesting little connection. It'd be fun to blow them up over that.
Yeah. We should be tweeting that out. Put that out on the Majority Report Twitter feed. People will be on that very quickly. There'll be some investigation there.